We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Gervonta Davis exposes Eddie Hearn, leaks an email that he received offering him a fight to fight Ryan Garcia, and he said he been making that type of money. What are they talking about? That's what I want to talk about in this video. Let's talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. The best thing you can do is smash the like button. SLC, subscribe, like, and comment. Now, Gervonta Davis, I gotta admit, he's been a lot more vocal as of late. And Gervonta Davis has had a lot to say in general. He's pulling no punches and he's holding nothing back. Now, Eddie Hearn faced the wrath of Mr. Davis recently. Tank Davis took to social media and he gave Eddie Hearn the business. Now, it's a little bit difficult because Tank posts tweets and then he deletes them for whatever reason, or a portion of them. So I was able to catch it for you guys. That's why you guys subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest. He said, LOL, now I'm a busy because I want a clean fight bet. Just know if I ever get cheated in a fight, ain't got to say it. Y'all will read about it. So he said he ain't playing no games. Then he responded to an Eddie Hearn recent interview where it says Eddie Hearn responds to Tank Davis's recent tweets about he and Ryan Garcia. He basically insinuated that Ryan Garcia is looking big all of a sudden. Hint, hint. He looking a little juicy. And I made a separate video about that. And then Tank says, F what you talking about. Why did you try to continue a boxing fight when you knew a fighter was dirty? And he tagged him at Eddie Hearn. Not to mention, Buddy sent me an offer for Ryan Garcia, some ish I'm already making plus more. And then he rolled his eyes. So some people were questioning what did that mean. Tank Davis posted the email that he received from Eddie Hearn, and you will see it on the screen. Best in the business. So the email reads, Dear Gervonta, further to our messages confirming you are no longer under promotional contract, we would like to make you the following offer for your next fight versus Ryan Garcia in February or March of 2023 on DAZN pay-per-view. So this had to be recently because we all know he was fighting Rolly, and he famously said that that's my last fight under the Mayweather banner, under contract, or contractually under the Mayweather Promotions banner. So it says versus Ryan Garcia in February or March of next year, 2023 on DAZN pay-per-view with a guaranteed purse of US $10 million. Pay-per-view bonus to be agreed. So the split on the back end would have to be, further to their discussions. And it says, look forward to hearing from you. As I said, I am in Cleveland this weekend and would be happy to fly you out to discuss face-to-face. Thanks, Eddie Hearn. So this is definitely recently because he was in Cleveland to promote Montana Love's fight. So he got this, sometime before the Montana Love fight, I'm assuming, because he said I'm going to be, let me look up the date for you guys, because that's when he was in Cleveland promoting the Montana Love fight. And that wasn't that long ago because I remember watching it and he threw the dude out the ring. So I just looked it up and it looks like Montana Love versus Spark. The fight was November 12th in Cleveland at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, right? So he had to have sent this at the beginning of November. I have so many questions. Where do I begin? So at the beginning of November, Eddie Hearn is sending an email to Tank Davis and saying, hey, basically you're a free agent. Everything I just showed you in red. Tank posted it, leaked the email. So he's basically saying you're a free agent. Why don't you consider, flying out and let's discuss some business. So that fight was November 12th, and he says, I'll be in Cleveland this week, so I'll push it back a couple, let's say 6 days, and say it was the week before that he sent Tank this email. Later that month, in November 18th, Tank Davis announced he was fighting Ryan Garcia, And he had a January 7th fight before that, and Ryan Garcia was to take place right after that. Granted, he gets past Hector Luis Garcia. So why is Eddie Hearn, again, I have so many questions. Why is Eddie Hearn not in the know that Showtime and DAZN were already hashing out a deal for Tank Davis, and weeks later, the fight was pretty much announced to the public that he would be fighting Ryan Garcia? So is Eddie Hearn making side deals and trying to do things on his own accord and, I don't know, show that he's able to make the fight with Tank Davis? Or it just looks like he's trying somehow to weasel his way into, because he doesn't have Ryan Garcia or Gervonta Davis. So he's just trying to weasel his way in because he's a free agent, or he thought he could get him to leave Al Haymon. Just because he may not work with Mayweather Promotions doesn't mean he's leaving PBC, and doesn't mean he's leaving Al. So, it just seems like kind of a Weasley move, if you will. I understand his business. You're going to try to, Tank Davis is a hot commodity. He's a star. So anyone would want to work with him, but it just seems a little bit shifty how it's being handled, because the world of boxing knew that Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia were in deep negotiations, just like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford were in deep negotiations simultaneously. So it's like, why is Eddie Hearn sending emails directly to the fighter and trying to get it done on his own accord when it looked like the fight was already trying to be done? That's one question. Additionally, again, Ryan Garcia is a Golden Boy Promotions fighter, Oscar De La Hoya. So you don't have Tank Davis and you don't have Ryan Garcia, who's a Golden Boy Promotion. He's under contract with them, right? And you are trying to send propositions or proposals and offer to fly people out to make a fight for two fighters that you don't currently have. Seems a bit weird. And again, how can Eddie Hearn offer Ryan Garcia without talking to Golden Boy? All these things seem very peculiar to me, because Oscar De La Hoya, every time I see him, he's taking shots at Eddie Hearn on social media and saying, oh, Eddie Hearn, he put the Chocolatito versus Estrada 3 in Arizona. I would have brought that to LA. I would have did this differently. I would have promoted this like this. Eddie Hearn don't know what he's doing. So Oscar De La Hoya said it. Leonard Ellerby said it. Bob Arum has said it, that Eddie Hearn in America is a joke, basically. He don't know what he's doing. And De La Hoya is no different. He's often critiqued Eddie Hearn and gave his opinion on how Eddie Hearn runs his business, etc. So who is Eddie Hearn to reach out to Tank and offer him Ryan Garcia, who is an established guy with Golden Boy, right? These things don't make sense to me. So it sounds like Eddie Hearn is desperate to try to make some kind of splash in America. He's been saying for years it's the American takeover, and he's been unsuccessful in doing that. So he's trying to get involved, kind of like how he weaseled his way into a relationship with Canelo Alvarez, and Canelo's career is on a downward spiral as well. Eddie Hearn got the touch of death. Canelo Alvarez, he's with Caleb Plant on Showtime and PBC, and they do almost 1 million buys, and we know he's not doing nothing like that versus Bivol or Triple G3. Definitely the lower fights like Avni Yildirim, the Pilgrim, and fights like that, Caleb Smith. And if he fights John Ryder, it's not going to crack no million in America. So it's like Eddie Hearn just seems like he's trying to get involved. So Gervonta Davis is exposing that. As far as him saying the comment about the drug test, that's just common sense. Eddie Hearn has pushed forth Dillian White versus Oscar Rivas, and he was trying to push forth Conor Benn fight with Chris Eubank Jr. I get it. A lot of people want to see the fight, but when a person fails multiple PED tests, that's just not something you do. You have to have respect for Chris Eubank. His dad is the Eubank name, the fans, to put on a proper event where a person didn't do something illegal. He has something in his system. He can't intelligently explain why it's in his system. It's on the bans list. It's over. The jig is up. So Tank Davis was right there too. Again, I have no idea why Eddie Hearn is offering something to Tank Davis, especially when just because he's not with Mayweather Promotions, as I said, doesn't mean he's not with Al Haymon, and you don't have Ryan Garcia. So that whole thing just looks like interference. Like you trying to run a play and do, it's like G Money in New Jack City. You're trying to do some kind of side deal, and that's just weird. That's why Tank Davis exposed you. And then to offer him $10 million, I mean, get real. Tank Davis said it himself. He said, I'm making more than that as is. He's on pay-per-view. So that, to me, even if you really wanted to do business with Tank, you have to show him probably more respect than that, because he's fighting Eastside Pitbull Cruz and LeBron James is there. He's fighting Rolly and it's doing 18, 19,000 at the Barclays, setting records, and Madonna's there. You offering him 10 million plus back end money. And the other thing is, DAZN lied and said pay-per-view was dead and they weren't going to do pay-per-view, and they said they were going to put Showtime out of business, only to copy the Showtime and established pay-per-view model that Showtime, Fox, and the UFC still use. But they look like hypocrites in doing it because they said that pay-per-view was dead. So now you're going to offer him $10 million, which is low, according to Tank. He's saying he's making better money than that as is. And then you're going to offer him a split on pay-per-view. But herein lies the problem. DAZN don't have no track record of putting together any successful pay-per-views. As I told you, they said that they weren't even in the pay-per-view business up until recently. And all of Canelo's pay-per-views are flopping. And you don't have no one bigger than Canelo. So how are you going to offer him a back-end split and you have no track record of putting together big events on pay-per-view at all? Like Wilder Fury 3, which was Fox and ESPN. There's never been an Eddie Hearn pay-per-view that has done better than that fight. Or Showtime doing Canelo versus Caleb Plant. You haven't done these type of events, so why would Tank Davis take that deal anyway, despite all the other things that I mentioned in this video? We unpack. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Best in the business. Subscribe to the channel. And I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new, interactive, and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.